Hi, everybody. Today we're talking with Audrey, who looks like Britney Spears, only eats Brussels sprouts with bacon, and loves chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. She once translated a penis implant website from English to German and moved to a new country without a plan 4 times. She wishes she was from New Zealand, collects vintage bathing suits, and today she's sharing about walking in the Pacific Northwest. So welcome, Audrey.
Hi, nice to be here.
Yeah. All right, Audrey, so we're going to start the timer. So tell us about the walk, because as I understand, it was between 2 cities. So you tell us when, where, how it happened, why you chose to do it, all of that.
All right. It was 3 years ago, I had just moved to Canada for a few months and was visiting family down in Seattle. And instead of catching a bus back like I had planned, because I was kind of a bit just like disoriented and lost as to what I wanted to do with my life next, like move to Mexico or go to India, become a yoga teacher. I was like, why don't I take time and do something crazy and just walk back to where I'd stayed before in Canada? And I did the math. It was about 190 miles. And my family dug out a backpack that my grandpa had owned and bought in the 70s. Which was not a good idea in the end to use because it was not very comfortable, as you can imagine. But I packed my backpack, and then just walked back. And then that whole adventure started. It was very non-typical, it was not like going on the Pacific, like on the PCT on a regular trail. I was literally walking through cities for most of the time.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like I was going to ask how your friends and family reacted to your decision. It sounds like they were at least supportive of, digging out the backpack and helping you make this possible.
Yeah, everyone was supportive, but yeah, people obviously were like, this is going to be scary. There's some sketchy areas. Are you sure you want to do this? Where are you going to stay? I was like, I'm going to camp. I'm going to camp in parks. I'm going to maybe stay with couchsurfing hosts along the way. And wow, you're going to stay with strangers. But overall, my family and friends are pretty used to me not really sticking to rules and living a pretty non-conventional life. So I guess they knew they weren't going to stop me.
That's all right.
Wow. So tell us about some of the people. Did you actually, while you're walking through these cities, did you encounter people along the way? And are you in touch with any of those people, or that you couch surfed, the houses you stayed in?
Yes, there is actually a really crazy story. I met a guy down here in Mexico in my kitchen one day who turned out to be the brother of a woman's farewell party that I got invited to in Bainbridge Island. And I showed him videos. I was like, I had this cool experience where you lived, because we had just met. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is my dad. This is my uncle. Oh my gosh, you were at my sister's farewell? That's crazy. This is 3 years later.
Wow.
But other than that, I met incredibly beautiful, kind people that would take me in. Lots of times I would ask people, hey, do you have a grassy patch in your yard where you'd let me stay overnight, and tell them my story? And a lot of them actually said yes. And then as they got to know me, they'd be like, oh, well, you can just stay in the guest room. And so a lot of times I got an upgrade, made friends, and encountered incredible kindness. I will also say it was very strange walking in the city, especially in Seattle, because people, I think, thought I was homeless at times. Yeah. So I felt somewhat invisible, and it's taught me this lesson to never, even if you don't give something to someone asking for food or help or whatever, acknowledge them, look at them, smile at them, because there's nothing worse than walking around and people see you, but they don't really see you.
Yeah, that's really, I was going to say that I had that similar experience because I was backpacking, when I had my backpack in a city, that's what the kind of look I would get too if I was walking through the city. And it was very eye-opening, right? Just making you very aware of what is happening. So, and now you had your grandpa's backpack, right?
Yes.
And what all did you carry? Obviously, you brought a tent.
I brought a tent, a lightweight sleeping mat, a very light sleeping bag, and then I brought an outfit in case I had to go to a party. I did not have proper hiking shoes. I had a pair of black boots that were falling apart from Australia. I had a pair of flip-flops. I had a book. I was reading Shantaram, which is a really big book, if you know. And every time I'd read it, I'd pull out I'd yank off the pages and throw them in the next trash can.
Oh,
I think I didn't take any makeup. I might have had one lipstick, definitely my MacBook and my charger.
okay.
And that was probably it. Not a lot, honestly. Anything
Yeah.
I deemed non-essential was going out the door, but not very professional apart from my camping equipment.
Oh my gosh. So it doesn't sound like you had a camera, but were you seeing things, or was there a day when you were like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a way to take pictures, or were you taking pictures on your phone? Tell us a little bit about the sights you saw. It sounds like.
Yeah. The Pacific Northwest is really beautiful. And because you're so slow, you get to kind of take it in at your own time. So you see things that most people overlook. Lots of wildlife. I had my phone with me, so I was constantly taking pictures when I wanted to, and I was doing little vlogs on my Facebook page. So I kind of shared a little bit, and that was fun.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing to do all day, right? It was just about walking from A to B. And it was painful. Like, I will say, it was a very challenging physical experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So then was there a time that you didn't think you were going to make it, where you thought maybe you were going to have to give up?
No.
No.
Never. I had to pause for 3 days at this couchsurfers host's house in close to Seattle. He was so wonderful. He ended up taking care of me for 4 or 5 days. Rick, big shout out to Rick. He was just such a kind soul, and we had a lot of fun. But after 4 days, I hit the road again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. So do you have some advice for someone else who might want to do this, or chooses to, because it sounds like the reason you went to do it was you needed to think too, as well as a way to get back, so to speak.
Totally. So especially as a life coach myself now, it's like every time I run into a problem, I know that a walk and music can usually fix it. It really shifts your mind. And I think the movement moves energy. The movement moves your body. It gives you time to think. I had incredible creative ideas. So for anyone with writer's block, so much came up, so many memories. And to give yourself that space. I know lots of people talk about meditation these days, and they're like, you just got to sit and be quiet. And it's it doesn't work for everyone. I think for many people, movement, gentle movement, and walking, and especially long walking like that, really is more meditative and can be so incredibly rewarding. And really my mental health improved over the whole trek. By the end of it, I was more motivated, and obviously, achieving something like that, you feel like a badass by the end. It's I made it. So I recommend for anyone, you can start with a day and just walk a random, part of your city that you take a train normally. That's how I travel now anyway. I'll go to a new city and I'll just walk and see things if you have time. So I really recommend it. And just be daring and ask people for help. People are usually pretty happy to help, and if they're not, just move on.
Somebody else will help, right?
Yeah.
So do you have a place you'd like to go next? Is there another a walk you want to do, or a city or a location you're looking to visit?
At this point, because of the current global events, I am pretty much grounded in Mexico, but I am grounded in one of the most beautiful spots in the world, and my favorite place. So that's not too bad. But if I could choose a place to go to right now, I would pick Tirana in Albania, because Albania is, if there's anything like a spirit country, then that's my spirit country.
Oh, wow. You're the very first person to suggest Albania. So I love that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a new place I hadn't even thought of.
It's incredible. The people are the best people in the world.
And why is Albania on your list?
I spent about 2 months there last year, and it just brought me to tears. It taught me the art of receiving, and took my sort of experience of hospitality to a completely new level. The nature is incredible. The people are so humble and kind and generous. They say your house belongs to God and the guests, and that's really how they treat you. And they'll give you the last little, thing to share as a foreigner. And it really changed my heart on some level. So that's the first place I want to go back to. I really am I need to go back, to this place, unless I've lived there. But that place is definitely on my list before other new fancy places to visit.
Whoa.
Oh, I think that's our 7 minutes.
Oh,
My timer
okay.
just
Wow.
for some reason wasn't
I know. I was
making
like,
its
wait a
thing.
minute.
Yeah. I was like, what's going on with that? But I'm sure we've already hit it because it just seemed to pause itself. But thank you so much.
My
Great.
pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Audrey, for sharing your story about walking between two cities and the, restorative power and what it can do for you to open up your creative mind. I love that. I mean, I just think that's amazing. So we have a new question and answer series, everyone. So if you have questions, click the link and send us your questions and answers on travel, on places you're thinking about going. And once again, travel with us through real stories with real people. Thanks.
Thanks, Audrey.